Good Saturday morning. It is more like Saturday afternoon, but it feels like morning right now as we've got a girl-boy doubleheader for you on DCTV here this afternoon. Ladies first, as etiquette says. So we will, as the Defiance Bulldogs picking up their second victory of the season just last night on the road as they beat Salina 48-29. Today, they host the Findlay Trojans. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us as the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is underway. We're going to get right to our pregame interview with Coach Lewis. Had a chance to stop out and talk to him earlier this week. We'll break it down when we come back as the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues on DCTV Sports. And we welcome you back. Actually, we are not going to have enough time to get our pregame interview with Coach Lewis in as we are just under 6 minutes left to go before we tip this one off as the Bulldogs at 2-17 overall, 1-7 in the Western Buckeye League, hosting the Trojans of Findlay, 14-5, 8-5 out of the Northern Lakes League, respectively. The Trojans have had a full week off. They last played on Monday night. They knocked off Napoleon, so they've had a little extra time to rest and do the scout. Let's go ahead and give you the starting lineups for the, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. Baker Schindler Company bringing us our starting lineups here this afternoon. Let's go ahead and start with the visitors for the Trojans, led by head coach Brian Rosendale. Again, as we mentioned, 14-5, 8-5 in conference play. Getting the starting nod at the point, it will be Alexis Arredondo. Alexis Arredondo getting the starting nod at the point. She averages 7 points and 3.5 assists per ball game. At the off guard, Caitlin Steckschulte. Steckschulte, 7.5 points, 3.5 rebounds per contest. Madeline Steckschulte will be your swing. Steckschulte, the leading scorer on this year's roster, 11 points and 6 rebounds per contest. At the posts, it will be Olivia Mangus. Mangus will be your power forward. She averages 6 points and 4.5 rebounds per contest. And in the middle, Sophia Myers. Myers averaging 6 and just an eyelash under 8 rebounds per ball game. On the flip side, for the Bulldogs of Defiance, they will send out the following 5. Samantha Hohenberger will be your point guard. Hohenberger averaging 11 points and 4 rebounds per game. At the off guard, Alexa Garcia. Number 24, Garcia, again averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds. Bella Rallison will be your swing. She's got 7 points and 7 rebounds on the game, on an average under her credit. Kendallin Krekel, number 11, will be your power forward. Krekel averaging 4 points and 4 boards. And in the middle, Alexandra Fernandez. Fernandez averaging 6 points and 7 rebounds. Those are your starting lineups brought to you by the Baker Schindler Company. We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we'll get ready for tip-off. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show on DCTV Sports. Colors being unfurled at half court. You can check them out right there as we are still about 3 minutes away from tip-off. We do want to remind you it is a girl-boy varsity doubleheader here this afternoon. More like this afternoon and this evening. Coming up at 6 o'clock, it will be the Defiance boys. And boy, do they have an opportunity. You can take a look at it as one of 2 ways, either a challenge or an opportunity. And Coach Bryn Lehman will call it an opportunity. They lost last night in overtime, 55-47. Against Salina, but they will host number 4 Whitmer. The Panthers, ranked 4th in the state in Class 1, or Division 1, I should say, and they suffered just their second loss of the season last night on the road at Findlay. So they will come into this one at 15-2 overall, 7-2 in the Northern Lakes League. The Bulldogs will try and get their 8th win of the season. We'll be on the air with our pregame at 5:30, coming up a little bit later on this afternoon with a 6 o'clock tip, and we hope that you will join us. Folks, we are operating with somewhat of a skeleton crew here this afternoon, but I promise you, you're going to enjoy this one. We appreciate you joining us on DCTV. If you like the coverage that you've seen so far this season, please, by all means, subscribe on YouTube. DCTV Sports, we've got our Facebook page. We've got live broadcasts on YouTube. We archive them always, so if you can't catch it live, all you have to do is usually within about 12 hours or so, log on to Facebook or YouTube, and we'll have it archived in its entirety for you, just like we had Tuesday night's game at girl-boy varsity doubleheader, Ayersville hosting Wauseon for the girls, and then Paulding for the boys. We'll have a little bit of a break this week as we're working our way down towards the tail end of the regular season, getting ready for the playoffs. Our next broadcast after tonight will be next Thursday. It will be at Ayersville. The girls, well, it's their world and everybody's just living in it. 17-1 right now, and only one loss in the GMC. They are going to draw the number 2 seed in their district, but we will have them to wrap up their regular season next Thursday. And then, of course, we'll be right back here at the Dog Pound on Friday as the boys will host Ottawa Glandorf. And then before you know it, it'll be time for the postseason. Final seconds ticking off the clock. Warm-ups being shed. Balls back in the cages. We do want to recognize the officiating crew here this evening. Charlie Rogaletti. You can tell because he's the tallest one. He's the only guy over at the scorer's table. Abby Moore and Amy Rowe will be your officiating crew here this afternoon. They have frozen the clock at 23 1/10 seconds. Not quite sure what the delay is. Not sure if we have somebody short at the scorer's table. Maybe they need somebody else, but okay. So we will just kind of figure it out as we are as well. And whenever they resume the clock, the final 23 seconds. I'm looking down at Coach Lewis right now, and he's trying to keep his team locked in and focused. So they have just reset the clock to 8 minutes, and why not? The final 23 seconds and counting probably has well ticked off than what would have been if they'd resumed it. As the Ohio High School Athletic Association and the PA announcer reading off the sportsmanship. Now it's time for the national anthem, courtesy of the Defiance Elks Lodge, number 147. And the national anthem in the books, sung by the Defiance girls basketball team themselves. Well done, ladies. Well done. Time to get ready for ball. We've gotten you the starting lineups, the national anthem courtesy of the Defiance Elks Lodge 147. We are just seconds away from the F&M Bank opening tip-off. Defiance 2-7 overall, 1-7 in the WBL, picking up their first win last night, 48-29 on the road at Salina. The Trojans 14-5, 8-5. Their conference is the Northern Lakes League. Their last matchup was on Monday. They were a winner against Napoleon. They enter this contest on a 4-game win streak. Again, knocking off the Wildcats 54-33. Their last 6 games, they have held 5 of their opponents to 30 points or less. They play defense. Defiance in their home whites with the blue lettering and numerals and the black trim. Findlay in their traveling blue uniforms with the white lettering and numerals with the white stripe down the jersey tops and shorts. Time to get after it. Light crowd on a Saturday afternoon, lots of stuff going on. Got a big swim meet, I believe, in the area. A lot of people being stretched thin when it comes to multiple activities. In the center circle, it will be Bella Rallison. For Defiance, it will be Sophia Myers. For Findlay. Ball is in the air, batted around, and the Trojans win the tip. Down low, Myers goes to work. Nice post-to-post pass, nice move by Madison Steckschulte. Puts the ball on the floor, and the Trojans draw first blood. Hohenberger, quick pass to the corner to Garcia. She'll drive baseline and throws it away. So first turnover of the game. And Findlay counters right back with another gift. So each team with a turnover in the early going. Hohenberger finds Garcia, catches, shoots, drains a 3. That's a Premier Bank 3-pointer, and Alexa Garcia gives Defiance an early lead. Hohenberger right in the jersey of Mangus. Mangus has it about 23 feet out on the left wing. Defiance in a 1-3-1, it looks like, and a nice job to get it into the post, and a tough move by Myers as she gets 2 off the glass. Ball being trapped and taken away. It's the second Defiance turnover of the early going. Mangus stops, 360 spin move, puts up a tough shot. It's out of bounds. It will be Defiance basketball. Just underway as we hit 2 minutes into the opening quarter of this contest. Hohenberger and Garcia will play a little catch. Looks like a soft man-to-man defense right now by the Trojans. Garcia in the far corner. She's got one to her credit. This one skims off the front of the iron. Mangus clears it. Quick outlet. And an ill-advised pass. What a save by Steckschulte. Out up top. Mangus with a long 3. It's short. Myers with the rebound. Drop step into the paint and finishes with the hook shot. Findlay has doubled up their hosts 6-3. Hohenberger keeping a waist-high dribble out in between the circles. Oh, nice crossover. Does she want to take it? She will dish. Long 3 and goes skimming Off the front of the iron. Fernandez had an open look. Speaking of open looks, Myers wants one. It's out of bounds. Both teams a little cool to open up this afternoon's contest. Hohenberger. Low post. Krekel muscles up. Ball might have been partially blocked. Coming in after that last timeout, the substitution. Check that, it was Arredondo, excuse me, not a sub. Now we're about to have a sub, and it will be Jamie Rollins checking in for Hohenberger for Defiance. As it looks like Findlay's coming out in some token pressure, a 1-2-2. Rollins, cross-court pass up the near side to Garcia, and they break it relatively easily. Garcia, kind of a little dipsy doodle shot, throwing it up over her shoulder, back to the basket. She gets her own board. She's going to feed Krekel in the blocks. Nice ball movement. They'll pick it back out. And now Defiance will reset their half-court offense. Rollins crosses over. Krekel kind of bobbled the pass, and that one halfway down, it spits out. Rollison thought she had it. On the drive, a little scoop move, and nifty play by Mangus as she's now in the books. Make it 8-3, Findlay. Rollins will slow it down. Krekel pops out to set a screen. Rollins doesn't use it. Instead, Fernandez does. Rollison in the corner, one dribble, and she's in trouble. It's deflected out of bounds off of Arredondo. Substitution for Defiance. They'll trade a center for a center as Olivia Brenner will check in for Alexandra Fernandez. Rollins off a Brenner screen. Step back three. Too long. Rebound, quick outlet. Here comes Steckschulte. Stops and pops as nobody picks her up. She can't hit the 15-footer on the wing. Garcia with the board, and timeout being called, 30-second variety, by Coach Lewis. 3:15 left to go in the first quarter. Findlay 8, Defiance 3. We'll take a quick timeout. This is a First Insurance Group timeout. We're back with more on DCTV Sports. Whistle sounds, 3:15 left to go in the first quarter. We welcome you back to the Dog Pound. Defiance hosting Findlay. Defiance had a short lead after a three-pointer by Alexa Garcia, but other than that, they have trailed for most of this ball game. Skip pass, Garcia. Does she have another one in her? Yes, she does! Draining her second Premier Bank three-pointer of the afternoon, and it pulls the Bulldogs to within a pair at 8-6. Arredondo pump fake from the corner. Nice baseline drive and gets the friendly roll. Rollins will slow it down as she brings it up the middle of the court. Krekel open for three. She's feeling it. Net's burning up from beyond 20 feet. Krekel with another Premier Bank three-pointer, and Defiance has scored all 9 of their points from beyond the arc as they pull to within 1. Crossover, stopping and popping, nifty move by Mangus. Give her second basket on the afternoon. Rollins will take her time as she walks it right down the middle of the court. Garcia spots up, and she's got it going. Her third basket, all from beyond the arc, and we're tied at 12 with her third Premier Bank three-pointer. All of a sudden, Findlay has just been woken up. Deflection, almost a turnover. Far corner Mangus really being hounded by Rallison. Up top, Arredondo will launch a three. Halfway down, it spits out, and that should be, well, what do I know? It looked like it was out of bounds off of Steckschulte, but instead, the official, Charlie Rogaletti, says it will remain Trojans basketball. Couple substitutions as Arredondo and Steckschulte will check out for Findlay. Ball deflected. Tie ball. This is going to be a jump ball, and the possession goes to the Bulldogs. Trying to regain the lead for just the second time in the early going. We're under 90 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Rollins, 360 spin move, goes up against a triple team, and this one doesn't quite catch iron as Mangus hauls it down. Skip pass. This is Madeline Steckschulte, and count the basket, and one coming. And who are they charging this to? It looks like Garcia. Garcia picks up her first, team foul number 1. It's been a cleanly played ball game so far in the early going. Steckschulte to the free throw line. She's a 62% free throw shooter, but this one off the iron, and I think we're going to have an over the back call. I believe it's going against Myers. Myers picks up her first team foul number 1. Score remains 14-12, now under a minute left to go here in the first quarter. Hohenberger's checked back in for the Bulldogs, crossing over, continuing to keep her dribble. Garcia is going to draw some blue jerseys after draining 3 three-pointers here in the first quarter. 44 seconds. Bulldogs in no rush, trying to run the offense, get a good look. Rallison working against Steckschulte. Back to Rallison. Bella thought about a three. Instead, she'll put it on the floor. Skip pass. Nice pass down low and almost jacked out. Olivia Brenner with just enough touch to get it to fall, and we're tied at 14. And we'll see if Findlay works for the final shot of the quarter. Top of the key, Ryan Bose is checked in. They won't wait. Instead, putting up a quickie, and Madison Steckschulte drains a Premier Bank three-pointer. 17-14, 4 seconds. Hohenberger's got a hustle. I don't think they're going to get a shot off. Rollison throws up a prayer, and we have come to the end of the first 8 minutes. So back and forth we go. The three ball, pretty much feast or famine for Defiance, as 12 of their 14 points have come from beyond the arc. But the Findlay Trojans lead it by 3 at the end of the first quarter, 17-14. We will take a First Insurance Group timeout. Back with quarter number 2 right after this on DCTV Sports. Second 8 minutes put up on the scoreboard here at the Dog Pound. We welcome you back on DCTV Sports. The three getting the job done, at least for the Bulldogs, as 12 of their 14 first quarter points came from beyond the arc. Alexa Garcia draining 3 of those. So we take a quick look at your Mark Moats Ford stats summary. Alexa Garcia with 9 points, all from beyond the arc. Kendall Krekel draining a 3, and then off the bench, Olivia Brenner. Nice post up and getting 2 off the square. On the flip side for the Trojans of Findlay, leading the charge, Madeline Steckschulte with 7 points, 4 points apiece for Olivia Mangus and Sophia Myers, and a deuce for point guard Alexis Arredondo. As they feed the post and starting things off again to start the second quarter, Olivia Myers with her 3rd basket of the afternoon. 19-14, largest lead for either team. Hohenberger almost lost the dribble. Checking in, Eliza Ramirez. Great hustle player. And this is going to be a rare fast break opportunity for the Trojans, and Caitlin Steckschulte lays it up and in. Largest lead of the game at 21-14. Coming up on 1 minute into the second quarter. Brenner, high blocks. Nice job to feed Lizzie Ramirez, and the ball out of bounds, but it looks like we have a foul. Lizzie's going to go to the charity stripe. Yet to see or hear who the foul was called on. As there you get a good look at Eliza Ramirez. Gritty player. She misses her first. Foul looks like it was charged against Ryan Bowes. Her first, couple substitutions. She'll get a second. Do we have a lane violation? Oh, you're kidding me. She will not get the opportunity, as a lane violation will negate the free throw attempt. So as it stands, Defiance turned away on that possession. Still down by 7, 21-14. They have been outscored 5-0. Check that, 4-0, excuse me, here to start the second quarter. So they get it into the low post. Deflection, and how about that? Lizzie Ramirez. It's not quite soccer, but she's still showing the grittiness. 2 hands, and she secures it. That's the 3rd turnover of the ball game for Findlay. Bulldogs really need a basket here. Garcia drawing all kinds of blue jerseys after draining 3 3-pointers in the first quarter. Hohenberger on the drive, stops and pops. A little hard off the heel of the iron, loose ball. That should remain Defiance despite the great hustle from Steckschulte. Substitutions, a pair of them for the Trojans. Checking out Steckschulte and Bowes as the lob comes into Hohenberger. Checking in, Zoe McCormick. And trying to get the other number here for the Trojans. Looks like Aaron Dondo checking back in, the starting point guard. Garcia, a little bit of room. She thought about pulling the trigger, instead drives, dishes. Nice save by Hohenberger. Man-to-man defense right now by the Trojans. Hohenberger, 360 spin down the right side of the lane. Lots of contact, and she muscles it up and in. First basket of the second quarter coming for Defiance at the 5:36 mark. And it pulls them back to within 5. Wide open on the baseline, and Zoe McCormick drains the 15-footer. Hohenberger will walk it up the court, getting directions from Coach Lewis. Nice job by Ramirez on the drive and the dish, deflected. Bulldogs will turn it over. 1-on-2, crossing over down the right side of the lane. Mangus doesn't make the basket, but does draw the foul. Foul will be charged against Alexa Garcia for the Bulldogs. That is her second. We'll see if Coach Lewis elects to sub out for her with 2 fouls. Still plenty of time left to go in the first quarter. Mangus' first free throw is up. Good looking stroke. She's got another one coming. Mangus, a good free throw shooter at 76% on the season. Brenner out. Rollins in for Defiance. Coach Lewis electing to go with a smaller, more guard-oriented lineup. Mangus' second free throw is on the way. Hits the front of the iron, and Ramirez tracks it down in the far corner. Hohenberger trying to set up the half-court offense. Rollins, well, they ran Hohenberger through but missed her. And is Findlay soft man-to-man here as trying to force the pass down low. It's deflected out of bounds off the Trojans. Substitution, Hohenberger out, Rallison in for Defiance. Finding Garcia, catch and shoots off the front of the iron, goes straight up. Nice offensive board, a little too deep though, unfortunately, for Fernandez, and she couldn't find it. 5 white jerseys do get back in transition defense. Arredondo, oh, they lose somebody on the left wing, and that is a dagger as Madison Steck-Schulte drains her second premier three-pointer of the afternoon, and all of a sudden it's an 11-point Findlay lead. Rallison will swing it to Rollins. Ball sticking a little bit right now for Defiance off of Fernandez's screen. Rallison drives baseline, little contact, knocked out of bounds off of Findlay. Myers will check back in for the Trojans. Arredondo will check out. Lob pass comes in, and good anticipation stolen away. Steck-Schulte. Dish is on the wing off the fingertips of McCormick. Great ball movement down low. Myers got a good look, couldn't find it. Garcia with the board in the outlet. Rollins, though, looking at three blue jerseys. Secondary break, Ramirez was there, but the pass was just a little high. She was hustling, and they had the right idea, but the pass was just off of Lizzie Ramirez's fingertips. Steck-Schulte into the far corner, spotting up, and McCormick with a pretty-looking jumper. She's got 4 off the bench, and it's a 13-point Trojan lead. Garcia really being dogged in the corner. Nice feed to Fernandez. Lost the ball out of bounds. Just under 3 minutes left to go here in the first half. Trojans have outscored the Bulldogs 12-2. And open again in the far corner and making a living over there. Zoe McCormick now with 6 points off the bench. And Coach Lewis not happy with his lack of defense, more specifically the lack of rotation, as he calls a timeout with 2:39 left to go in the half. Findlay pulling away here 31-16. You're watching DCTV Sports. 2:39 left to go in the half. There you saw Alexa Garcia getting a high five from Coach Lewis as Defiance breaks the huddle. It was 17-14 at the end of the first quarter, but all Findlay here in the second quarter. Matter of fact, just one basket for the Bulldogs as they have been outscored 14-2. Garcia tries to change it, and she does. Her 4th three-pointer of the afternoon, and Premier Bank is getting their money's worth out of their sponsorship from Alexa Garcia this afternoon. Bulldogs needed that. Still down by 12 at the other end. Air ball, and Johnny on the spot. Steck-Schulte picks up the loose ball and gets the garbage put back. She's got 12 of her team's 33 here in the first half. Rallison backing it out. Coach Lewis barking out the instructions on the offense that he wants. Fernandez sets a nice screen. Garcia pops out. She's got Steck-Schulte right in her grill. She'll back it out. And Defiance will reset again. Well, Rallison, nobody on her. I thought she might put the ball on the floor and forces a bad pass, and Johnny on the spot. Nice, good aggressiveness by number 23, Lizzie Ramirez, to make sure that ball was not a turnover. Rollins out, Hohenberger in. Caitlin Steck-Schulte will take a seat on the Findlay bench. Mangus checking back in. Coming up on 1:15 left to go in the half. Fernandez on the drive, leans in and contact, but they're going to call Myers for her second foul, and she can't believe it. She thought it was all ball. Fernandez instead will get a trip to the charity stripe. She's got a pair. Taking her time. Leaves her first one short. Ramirez out, Krekel in for the Bulldogs as the second is on the way. Halfway down, it spits out. Score remains 33-19 as we approach 1 minute left to go in the first half. Open, top of the key, taking a three and making it rain. Madeline Steckschulte with her third Premier Bank three-pointer of the day. Lead back up to 17. Bullet pass to Krekel, down low, deflected. That'll be the third turnover for Defiance here in the second quarter. Mangus stops, Hohenberger with quick hands, almost stripped her. That should be a double dribble. It is. And that defense, that turnover specifically, courtesy of Samantha Hohenberger's quick hands. Down by 17. Hohenberger in no rush to bring it across the timeline. Well, Fernandez had a masterful screen. Hohenberger in between the circles. Looks like the Bulldogs will work for the final shot of the half. About 9 seconds or so is when you want to put your offense into motion. Rolison, though, will put up a quick three, and it's out of bounds. Last touched by Findlay. Bulldogs draw a break with almost 6.5 seconds left. Now can they run a set piece on the inbounds to get a good look? Lobbing it out. Hohenberger backs it out. You gotta go. Lobbing it down low to Fernandez. She'll throw up a prayer, and it is not answered. Both clubs will head to their respective locker rooms here at the half. What a second quarter for Findlay. They led by 3 at the end of 8. They lead by 17 here at the half, 36-19. We're going to take a quick First Insurance Group timeout. We will be back with a very quick Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show. We are going to run what should have been our pregame interview at the half, so don't you go anywhere. We will hear from Coach Lewis when we come back. You're watching DCTV Sports. We have reached intermission. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show is underway here on DCTV Sports, and what a difference the second 8 minutes makes. It was 17-14 at the end of 8, and Defiance was giving visiting Findlay everything they could handle, but too much. Madeline Steckschulte in the second 8 minutes, and Zoe McCormick with all 6 of her points off the bench have made the difference as the offense just went cold. For the Bulldogs, just 2 baskets from the floor. They were 0 for 3 from the charity stripe, and that's where we sit now, 36-19. Taking a quick look at your Mark Moats Ford stats summary. Let's start with points. Leading the charge and leading all players is Alexa Garcia for Defiance. She has 12 points on 4 3-pointers. She came to play today. After that, it drops off considerably. 3 points for Kendall and Krekel. She drained a 3. 2 points for Samantha Hohenberger on a nice drive from the point guard, and then off the bench, a nice feed down low to Olivia Brenner. On the flip side for the Trojans, leading the charge is Madeline Steckschulte. She's got, let's do a quick math tutorial here, 3, 6, 9, 13. She's got 15 on the afternoon, including 3 3-pointers herself. But a lot more balance. 4 for Mangus, 6 for their big center Myers. As we mentioned, 6 for McCormick off the bench. 4 points for Mangus, 2 for starting point guard Alexis Arredondo. Turnovers. It's been relatively even. Defiance has 5. Findlay has 4. So pretty much a cleanly played ball game. That is your Mark Moats Ford stat summary. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show will continue with what we would hope to bring you in our Bob Estel Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show, and that is the pregame interview with Coach Lewis. Don't you go anywhere. We've got it for you on the other end of this. You're watching DCTV Sports. Welcome back. The Estel Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. We've got a rare double header, but etiquette says ladies first, so they will. As the Bulldogs playing back-to-back nights this afternoon, it is out of conference as it is Findlay, as they are 14-5 overall, 8-5 in the Northern Lakes League. A little over a week layoff, and then all of a sudden, boom, back-to-back games. Right. Coach, how do you pace yourself? I know when we talked to you post-game after the Bath contest, you said you wanted to kind of work on yourselves for at least a few days, but then all of a sudden, the scout has to be literally the snap of the fingers because you've got back-to-back opponents in less than 24 hours. What type of challenge does that present?
Not much for us. We always got room to work on ourselves. So we took those first 2 days and we just kind of make sure we knew our stuff. And then, like I told you before, once we came in Monday, we started to go over kind of what the other team does. And then we kind of see who their strengths are. And then the day before, so like Thursday, we'll go over and see Friday, we'll go over the scout for Findlay and kind of see what they do. I know they're senior-led, so it's going to be tough. Defense is going to be a thing. We're going to have to rebound, and we're going to have to be able to handle the pressure. I did see where they picked up full court most of the time, which is going to be tough for us, but hopefully we can do what we're supposed to do, get the ball to the middle.
Well, let's start with that. You just beat me to it. Yeah. I was going to say there's more than one way to skin a cat. If you got a great ball handler, usually they're a one-person press break. Right. But there are many ways to do it. What's your preference, at least with this year's group?
We like to get it to the middle and look opposite. Usually no matter what press you run in my history, that's what's going to be open. Obviously, having those ball handlers to be able to attack once we get to the middle only helps it and get easier for us. But once we get it to the middle, even if we get it to a post, we feel confident that we can reverse it and get it to the other side and try to attack the basket and create our offense.
There's the second half of that equation because quite often presses are successful, not if they get a steal or a turnover, but they speed you up. Right. All of a sudden, you're taking a bad shot, and then, boom, they're off to the races. How do you hammer that home? Just because you get it across the timeline doesn't mean all of a sudden you have to still move a million miles an hour.
Right. We just talked as a team, not every shot is a good shot, and we're starting to realize that. I think with a younger team, we have a lot of sophomores and a couple freshmen that actually play on our team and get playing time, and I think it just took them a while to understand that, every shot is not a good shot. What do I do well? And like I tell them, shoot the shots that you're going to make 50% of the time. Those are the shots I usually feel good about you shooting. So if you're shooting in practice, shoot it in the game.
Another day to practice is another day to improve. Now, here we are in February. It doesn't seem like it, but all of a sudden, snap of the fingers. I remember doing my first game all the way back in early December, and here we are with just a handful of games left in the regular season. Where would you say this team has made its most improvement?
Learning how to be a team. That's where we had to start. We got to learn what's the right way to be a teammate. What's the right way to talk to my teammate? What's the right way to react when my teammate doesn't do something well? And I think we took a lot of time to actually show them what basketball is supposed to look like. And I don't know how early on you've seen us, but when we first started, we weren't a team. We were a lot of individuals trying to figure out basketball. And I think as the season went along over the Christmas break, we got a time to spend a little bit more time with each other, kind of figure out who each other are. We do a couple exercises here and there in practice where we sit down and just talk about basketball, talk about how we feel about basketball, and it kind of lets a teammate know where the other teammate is coming from, and we feel like we did a good job kind of just showing the girls what being a real teammate is and competing all the time.
We talk about this with guys quite a bit.
Yes.
And I think it's unfair because I think girls can be every bit, if not more, competitive.
We
usually use the term alpha.
Right.
If the coaching staff wasn't available for a practice, who is that kid that would step up and take charge? If they speak, everybody shuts up and listens, and they get in line behind. Do you have that kid?
Without a doubt, Samantha Hohenberger, Eliza Ramirez.
Okay.
Would be my first two. Yeah, Izzy, she's just a competitor. She likes the competition of it. I mean, she likes basketball, but I honestly think she just likes competition. She's going to dive on the floor. Obviously, she was at the game before. She's hitting the floor 5-6 times. Sometimes I have to tell her in practice, stay off the floor. Save those. I know you're going to dive for the ball. I don't need you to do it in practice because you're banging up your legs, you're getting hurt. Save those for the game because she does work hard, and I appreciate her. I mean, like I was telling the team before, and they know this, if we got 12, Eliza Ramirez will be in good shape the way she works.
She's up early.
Yes.
Matter of fact, I believe as of the time we're doing this interview, you are going to meet her in the weight room at 5:30, and that's not
morning,
p.m.,
right?
that's a.m.
Yes, sir.
I don't know of many kids that are up before 6.
That's true.
Much less in the weight room and starting their workout
That's
before 6. What's her wiring? What makes her so different?
That's how she came in. When I got the job, I mean, that's kind of how she approached me at the beginning, and she's just willing to work. She want to work. She want to learn. She want to improve any way she can. And like you seen, when she comes to me and say, hey, Coach, can we I'm not going to turn her down because how many players do I got that want to work that hard, right? If I got somebody that want to work that hard, we're going just so she can tell the story to somebody else that's on the team, and it may rub off to them, and they may feel the urge to do the same thing at some point.
All right, we're singing Izzy's praises, but she's got several other teammates
Yes,
here.
for sure.
Let me ask you this, though. You still have less than a handful of games left to go in the regular season. You have your postseason playoff brackets now set.
Yes.
But there's still plenty of time between then and now. What else do you want to see from this team? Where else do you need to improve?
We got a couple of detailed things we're working on defense, trying to throw in and be able to become a normal part of what we do on defense to just kind of mix it up a little bit. We kind of look ahead a little bit to the tournament schedule, and we play Lima Bath again, knowing that's a big team, and I think we talked about Lima Bath next time. So we prepare for the team that's right in front of us, but we also kind of know that Lima Bath is leaking out there February 22nd, and we got to face them for the tournament, which just becomes a different season once we get to the tournament play. And we just slowly get ready for Lima as we're working on everybody else.
We're going to live in the here and now.
Right.
Now, the most important game is Findlay.
That's true, yeah.
Coach, as always, we appreciate it. Best of luck to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coach Lewis joining us on the pregame. We're going to take a quick time out. We are back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. You're watching DCTV Sports. Final 7 seconds of the half, ticking off the clock. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show is now in the books. Buzzer sounds, quarter number 3 as we get set to resume action here at the Dog Pound. Visiting Findlay 36, host Defiance 19. Bulldogs will have the ball to start the second half, and it'll be the same starting 5 that began the game. To start the third quarter, Hohenberger, Garcia, Rallison, Krekel, and Fernandez. Likewise for the Trojans, Arredondo, Steck-Schulte, Mangus, and Myers. Hohenberger on the drive, nifty one-hander. Off the mark, Krekel hit the deck. Coach Lewis looks like he wanted an over the back, but he won't get it. And driving and dishing, and good hustle by Krekel to get back, and then they throw it away. Turnover for a turnover. Defiance starting the second half in a 2-3 zone, and Findlay trying to figure out how best to attack it as Arredondo inside, back out up top, and that's one way to do it. Madeline Steck-Schulte with her third, make that 4th Premier Bank three-pointer of the day, and she now has 18 points. Lob pass, trying to force it down low on a backdoor cut to Fernandez. It's deflected, and that'll be the second turnover for the Bulldogs here to open up the third quarter. Lob pass to Myers. Oh, nifty move. Spun left, then spun right. Banks in 2 off the square. Give her 8 on the day. All of a sudden, a 22-point Trojan lead. Rallison at the top of the key, unchecked. She'll go ahead and pull the trigger. It's off the mark. One and done. Mangus with the board. Good defense by Rallison to get back, but somebody loses her in the corner and wide open and airmailed. Out of bounds. Bulldog basketball. Izzy Ramirez will check in. Rallison will check out. Look at that smile. Now, if you caught any of Coach Lewis's halftime interview, which was designed to be our pregame interview, but they got a little bit of an earlier start than we anticipated today, he spoke very glowingly of Eliza Ramirez, just a tough-nosed, hard-working kid, trying to squeeze every ounce of basketball talent out of her. She's got the ball, keeping her dribble, now surrenders it to Hohenberger. And they've got to get the court balanced here. They're not quite in proper position. Hohenberger on the drive. That was a good, if not maybe slightly moving screen by Fernandez. She crashes the glass. All right, number 33, that's the way to work hard. Setting screens, crashing the glass, and now she'll head to the charity stripe. She's 0 for 2 today. And not only that, but she also just drew the third foul on starting center Sophia Myers for Findlay. Fernandez taking her time. Releases, it's going to be a little long. And you see Ramirez and Krekel both go over, try and coach her up a little bit. Take your time here, kid. You got 10 seconds. She'll set this one, and she's in the books. 1 for 4 today, 41-20. Now look at this, a 2-3 zone, but they're going to trap at half court. And a nifty move by Mangus to pass over the top of it. Nice job by Arredondo to cut. A little short, and Krekel cleans up underneath. Hohenberger's going to pick up the pace. Ramirez, one-handed bounce pass. Krekel to the far corner. They're going to feed Fernandez down low. That's a good job of using her body to shield off the defense. Myers with 3 fouls, didn't want to pick up her 4th, and Alexander Fernandez has had 2 very good offensive series. Got to get back here as she puts a hand in the face of Myers, and on the drive, Arredondo is fouled. Charge this one to Izzy Ramirez. Hohenberger will check out. Rollins will check in for Defiance. Mangus smacks the ball in her hand. Down low, they kick it right back out to Mangus, and that's great ball movement by the Trojans. Mangus with her 6th point of the afternoon. Lead up to 21. One-handed pass. Well, Fernandez working tough down there, and I'm not sure if that was partially blocked or just slipped out of her hand. Battle for it underneath, and we've got a foul as it was secured by McCormick. Fernandez picks up her 1st for Defiance. Look at this, some full court pressure by the Bulldogs. Trojans go over the top of it. Mangus thought about pulling the trigger for 3. She's going to take Krekel baseline. Nice footwork to cut her off. And a foul. Is this going against Ramirez? Or is it going against Krekel? Looks like it might be Krekel. If it is Krekel, it's her 1st. Nope, check it. It's going to be Ramirez, her 2nd. Far corner, Mangus with a pump fake. Got Ramirez in midair. She'll kick it back out up top. 3 on the way. They're just being surgical right now. Caitlin Steck-Schulte with a Premier Bank 3-point shot. And they're making it rain from beyond the arc. Their 2nd of this half. 5th of the game. On the drive, Fernandez just a little bit short. And a reach and foul, frustration. It's either Fernandez or Krekel. No, they're going to say it forced the turnover. That'll be the 2nd of the quarter for Findlay. Hohenberger is working on some tape on her ankle. I don't know if one of our cameramen can catch her. She's at the end of the bench there. You can kind of see it in the upper left-hand corner, but I'm not sure if she twisted it or if the tape is just bothering her, but she has cut it off herself. Nice job there, guys. You can see her pulling her sock back on, and I'm not sure if the trainer's going to retape her or if she's just going to go without it. As we've got a turnover there for Defiance. Fast break, and look at this. Rollins walking the tightrope down the near side. And should be a foul or just out of bounds off of Findlay, it looks like. And it looks like Hohenberger is cutting the tape off of both ankles. So she is going to go with less brace or less support there. But the Defiance point guard, there you go, you see it. She's done with those for the day. She's walking right now over to the garbage can as Rollins, nice job to drive baseline. And the youngster is now in the books. 46-24. Trying to pull at least back into 20. Look, you can't. There's no such thing as a 22-point basket. If you're Defiance, you just have to chip away one possession at a time. Spotting, putting it up. Ramirez with a strong-handed one-handed board, I should say. As I look on the baseline, Hohenberger is walking to the tunnel. I'm not sure if she's going to the trainer's room, but she is still in socks after having cut the support tape off of her ankles. As this is going to be an over and back. That'll be the fourth turnover of the third quarter for the Bulldogs. And Coach Lewis not happy, having a somewhat heated exchange with Charlie Rogaletti. I believe he thought that ball was probably touched by Findlay. And what do we got here? 1-3-1, it looks like, by the Bulldogs. And a good anticipation by Krekel to jump in front of that cross-court pass, pick up the steal. Rollinson to Rollins on the drive, splits a double team. She draws the contact. Jamie Rollins will be heading to the charity stripe. Foul will be charged to Arredondo for Findlay, her first, team foul number 2. Rollins at the stripe. Her first one rattles in and out. There you get a good look at the youngster. Rollins just a sophomore, 5'6", speedy. And off the mark here, but Fernandez continues to work hard. Swatted away from her, and a good job to get it back out up top and allow Defiance to set up. Oh, look at you, Lizzie, off the right side. Fernandez working hard down low. Second opportunity, and she dribbles it out. Rollinson right back down to big number 33, and she draws the contact. We see you, 33. The foul's going to be charged to Caitlin Steck-Schulte, her first. The inbounds, Fernandez gets swatted. She's still staying with it. Muscles up. That was all you, 33, all you. Give her 5 on the day. 46-26. Skip pass. Steck-Schulte thought about the 3. Rollison, nice job to get over on her. They're going to feed it down low. Fernandez with a little bit of a love tap, and that forces the turnover. Fourth of the quarter for Findlay. Unofficially, I have them both for 4. Rollins looking like a wide receiver with a catch over the shoulder. Did she step out of bounds, or is this a timeout? Full timeout being called for by Coach Lewis. $1:27 left to go, third quarter. We'll take a break with them. Findlay by 20. You're watching DCTV Sports. Minute 27 left to go in the third quarter. There you get a good look at Coach Lewis trying to put some energy back into his charges. They trail by 20. Look, Alexa Garcia likes to play over music. Oh, you and me both. And there you take a look at Findlay's huddle, all business, as they are up 46-26. Tell you what, Alexa Garcia had a dozen at the half, 4 3-pointers, but she has been held scoreless so far here in the second half. And you take a look at number 24 there. She's going to catch a breather. Juju. Oh, big yawn, Juju. Come on. Spanish foreign exchange student with a yawn as she's sitting next to her teammates. So they go down low to Ramirez. She muscles up strong. She'll head to the free throw line. There is no quit in this Defiance team. A lot of grit. We'll see who the foul's charged to. As Lizzie Ramirez, 0 for technically 1. It was a lane violation in the first half, and she drains her first. She's in the books. Now, Samantha Hohenberger has just put on street shoes, but behind the bench, number 2, she's not wearing. Is she going to wear those and check back into the game? As Ramirez's second free throw rattles in and out. 46-27. Next stoppage of play. I don't know if Tim or Trevor can zoom in. You can't miss those things. They're bright blue. I'm wondering if maybe her regular tennis shoes or game shoes were just giving her too much trouble, especially with how heavily taped her ankles were. One step. Allie Cox, number 5, into the ball game for Findlay. Ryan Bowes, who saw some time in the first half, dishes off baseline. Cox, quick pass. This one left short. Ball being tapped around. Who wants it? Whoa! Bodies flying. Lizzie Ramirez jumps right back up. That's like soccer. Absolutely. Nobody's going to get that ball out of her hands. Jump ball the call, so it stays with Findlay. Inbounding on the baseline. Mangus looking for somebody. Bowes pops out just inside the arc. Under a minute left to go, third quarter, and it looks like the Trojans may work for the final shot of the third quarter. One dribble, Cox, deflected. They'll reverse it. Bowes on the drive and kicks it back out. One dribble, air-mailed, and Mangus saves it. No, Rollison, very quick to come up with it. 25 ticks left to go. Rollins comes to a slow stop, and now it looks like Defiance may work for the final shot of the quarter. Krekel in the high blocks, and she's stripped by Mangus. That is their 5th turnover, and then Rollins comes right back with the 5th for Findlay as she tries a little scoop move in a 1-on-2, and she'll head to the charity stripe. Foul will be charged. Number 0, Ryan Bowes, picks up her 3rd. Rollins to the free throw line. She's 0 for 2. 2 points on the day, and still looking for her 3rd. Substitution for the Bulldogs as checking in, Chloe Seiler. Young freshman, a lot of promise. Rollins trying to hit 1 of 2 from the free throw line. She cannot do so. Whoa, Seiler comes over the back of Myers and knocks it out of bounds. Check that was Steckschulte. And Coach Rosendale is livid that that's not a foul. You can hear him yelling, how is that not a foul? 2 seconds. 1 second. Mangus throws it over the backboard. And we have come to the end of the third quarter. Trojans 46, Bulldogs 27. We will take a first insurance group timeout. Back with the fourth quarter right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports. Well, there you get a good look as the buzzer sounds on the Findlay huddle. Fourth and final quarter getting set to get underway here at the Dog Pound with the visiting Trojans leading the Bulldogs 46-27. And there is more than just a side story. That is Samantha Hohenberger, the starting point guard for the Bulldogs. We saw her cutting the athletic tape off of her ankles late in the third quarter. Obviously, with no shoes on and heavy ice on that right ankle, it certainly looks like her day is done. Yep, elevating it. So we'll hope the best for that. That's maybe just mild at worst, but looks like the Bulldogs will have to do without her services for the remainder of this ball game. So enter the sophomore, Jamie Rollins, bringing the ball up the court. Nice drive, nice ditch. Nice drive, stopping and elevating. Ramirez couldn't quite get the range. Look who has the ball out at the top of the key, though, and they'll reset their offense. Rollins backing it out. Overplaying Steck-Schulte. Ramirez tried to save it, but Steck-Schulte's got it. It's 1-on-2. She doesn't care. She's going all the way in, and Rollins knocks it out of bounds. But we do want to remind you, coming up a little bit later on, late this afternoon, 5:30 is our expected airtime for a 6 o'clock tip-off. It's a boy-girl varsity doubleheader here from the Dog Pound, as Bryn Lehman and the Bulldogs will host number 4 in Division I, Whitmer. The Panthers coming to town, 15-2 overall. As Rollins is stripped at the other end. Well, I guess it pays to be in the right place at the right time. Sophia Myers lays it in. She's got 10 on the afternoon. Fernandez about to check back in, most likely for Olivia Brenner. As we have played 1 minute into the fourth quarter. Nice spin move, up and under, and switching from the right to the left hand. That was pretty. Jamie Rollins. And back out in that 1-3-1. Seiler on the back end of it. Rallison and Ramirez on the wings. Brenner in the middle. And that's just a tough move. And are they calling a late whistle? Madeline Steck-Schulte made the basket, but it looks like she's going to get the chance for a three-point play. Foul will go against Lizzie Ramirez. As Fernandez and Garcia will check in. Ramirez and Brenner will both catch a blow. Spinning the ball in her hand. Steck-Schulte releases. It is pure. 63% free throw shooter, makes good here. (51-29). Rollins, oh, that was a good pick and roll, but the pass was just way too late. Quick outlet, and here comes Arredondo, driving hard to the iron. Fernandez hustling back. Quick outlet, now they've got a 3-on-1. Up the court to Rollins. Tightrope walking that baseline, she wasn't able to. She stepped out of bounds, and a good show of sportsmanship by Madeline Steck-Schulte to help her up. Not quite 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. Steck-Schulte working against Rollins as she crosses half court. Myers in the high blocks. They get it right back to her. She's going to drive, fades away, doesn't catch anything. Arredondo is there. Left-handed putback won't go. Just not a good job there. Fernandez was in too much of a hurry. It's okay sometimes once you rebound to let the defense clear or let a guard come back to you. Love the aggressiveness, but sometimes it's okay to slow down a half a second or two. Seiler will check out. Your Defiance 5 right now are Garcia, Krekel, Rallison, Fernandez, and Rollins. As this one boarded by Garcia on the weak side. She'll trot it up the far side. Nobody's picked her up. She gets deep, stripped. And then hitting the deck on the baseline, Steck-Schulte, and she lost the ball. Turnovers have been roughly even, one more for Defiance unofficially than we have for Findlay. 12 for the Bulldogs, 11 for the Trojans. Garcia had herself a half, 4 3-pointers. She has been held scoreless here in the second. Rollins in between the circles, they'll reset. Rallison has been held scoreless. She averages 7 a game. Outlet, Steck-Schulte to Steck-Schulte. Lays it up, it trickles off the front of the iron. And out of bounds to the Bulldogs. And do we have a player that's hurt? Little slow to get up. Madeline Steck-Schulte appears to be okay, but she's a little gimpy as she comes off the court. Mangus will check in. Krekel will check out. And Ramirez back in. Little stutter step. Rollins got ahead of herself. Ramirez always seems to be in the right spot at the right time. Rallison will pull the trigger on a three. That one's airmailed. Rollins is there, and Mangus thought she had all ball. Just kind of stares down at the sophomore as she picks up the foul. It'll be Mangus's first, I believe, by my book. We'll wait and see. It is. Team foul number 1. Rollins back to the charity stripe for her 5th and 6th opportunities. Finally rattles home one. Second is on the way. Almost looks like the first, but it finds its way down. She's 2 for 6. It's a 20-point ball game with just over 4.5 minutes left to go. Mangus has picked up her dribble. Bullet pass. Boy, down low, and Rallison thought she was set, but Myers will be going to the charity stripe. Rallison with her first. Myers with 10. Looking for 11. And puts it home. Myers, if I read the stat sheet that Coach Rosendale sent me correctly, not a terribly good free throw shooter. At 40%, but she drains both here. And did we have... I was looking down in my book. Was there a lane violation there? Quite possibly. All right. Yep, they haven't put the point up on. And I'm being told that is the confirmed call. So 52-31. Garcia surrenders it to Rallison. Rollins at the top of the key. Ramirez, she's thinking about it. Rollins on the drive and just trying to go up against too tall of a player. Right into Myers' hands. And Rollison with a frustration foul. She comes up on Mangus. Or check that. Rollins with the frustration foul, excuse me. Her first. Seiler will check in. We got all kinds of substitutions now. Layla Keller. Brenner checking in. Most likely for the final 4:01 here. Who all's coming in? Who all's coming out? Inbounds, open three, offensive putback. Myers quietly having herself a day. 13 points. Rollins brings it up. Keller. Trying to force it to Brenner in the high blocks, and that was just too tough a pass. Myers down low, she's stripped. I'm not sure if Seiler caught a piece of it or if Brenner did. Either way, it's a turnover, and here come the Bulldogs. Cross-court pass. Ramirez tries to hit a trailing Brenner. It was a little low. Ramirez will back it out now in between the circles. Chloe Seiler into the corner. Keller loses it. It's the 5th turnover of the quarter. 2 white jerseys get back and fading away. Nice job by Rollins to alter the shot. Nice job by Brenner to pull down the board. Under 3 left to go. Brenner in the near corner. Arredondo going to give her some room. Brenner now at the top of the key. And the pass just through the wickets of Keller. 6th turnover for the Bulldogs. And at the other end, they just give it right back. And then another. I'm running out of ink on my turnover sheet. Out of bounds, and it remains with Findlay. Few substitutions for the Trojans. Steck Schulte and Mangus will catch a seat. As the inbounds, Rios pops it back out up top. Cox almost lost it. Rollins right on her. She stripped her, but that's going to be a foul. Myers out. Trying to get a number on the substitution, 32. Wouldn't you know it? That's got to be off the JV roster. I'm hoping it's Kayla Meyer. As on the drive and the basket. Up top, Ramirez almost banked in a three. Good hustle by Keller to pull it back in the far corner. Ramirez on the drive again. That's a nice screen by Brenner. She got a little too deep. Brenner also a little too deep. Great hustle, but again, spacing on the floor. Oh, that's just quickness on quickness. It'll technically be a turnover by Heat School. And Brenner with the block. All right, we're having fun with the reserves now. We've got some numbers checking in, I believe, are off the JV squad. So I'm going to try and do my best here for Findlay. Let's see, this will be number 20. Abadan's, well, it's listed as Kunkel in the book. So my apologies, 20. You're listed differently in the JV versus what was in the book. And if I believe I have the name right from the book that I was looking at down at the scores table, it's Eunice Kunkel. So we approach 1 minute left to go in the ball game. Seiler on the drive, comes to a jump stop, still muscles it up. Cox comes away with it. The question is, do they want to work their offense for another shot, or do they just want to dribble out the clock now? Findlay, they've been up and up big since the half, led by 17. That's grown by 20 plus. 37 seconds and counting, and it looks like, well, we'll wait and see. Kunkel kicks it back out. Check that. That's number 32, excuse me. I believe that's Kayla Moyer. Ball deflected, and Kunkel's going to launch a shot. Off the mark. Offensive board, nothing doing. Seiler with the rebound and throws it away. 16 and 4/10 seconds left to go. The inbounds. Rollins still staying on the ball. Cox coming over. Rollins with a deflection. They're still playing hard with 8 seconds left to go. You got to love this. Absolutely got to love it. Whistle sounds with 7 and 1/10 seconds left to go. It will not technically be a turnover since it was a jump ball and the possession arrow stays with Findlay. But certainly get it to their backup point guard, and Cox is just going to tuck it under her arm for the final 6 seconds. They will tick off the clock. It was a game for a quarter, but a big second 8 minutes for Findlay. And they just continued to pour it on as the Trojans win comfortably this afternoon by a final of 56-31. They are now 15 and 5 overall as Defiance falls to 2 and 18. Handshake line. What we will do is take a quick timeout, a First Insurance Group timeout. When we come back, it'll be the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Don't go anywhere. We're back with more on DCTV Sports. get a good look at. Tell you what, those guys do not get enough credit. The minute the last fan and player is out of the gym here, guess who goes to work? And you see it right now, emptying out the trash cans, sweeping up the court, and just getting this place ready and presentable, because what's going to happen here in just a few hours is that there's going to be a boys' game in 4 hours, to be exact. We will be back on the air with our pregame, the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show at 5:30 for a 6 o'clock tip-off, as Bryn Lehman and the Defiance boys will welcome the number 4 ranked Whitmer Panthers to the Dog Pound. We will preview that just a little bit later. We're going to review and wrap up this one, as the Defiance girls were trying to make it 2 in a row after a big win against Salina last night, and they came out and punched Findlay right in the mouth. It was a 17-14 game after the first quarter, but just 5 points scored in that second quarter, and it ended up being a 19-5. It wasn't a run, but Defiance was outscored 19-5 in the second quarter by the Trojans, and that ended up spelling the difference, as it was just too big of a hole to dig themselves out of en route to a final of 56-31. Our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show is now underway. Let's get you a Mark Moats Ford stat summary. Let's go ahead and start with point production. And leading the charge here this afternoon, leading all scorers, Madeline Steckschulte for Findlay. She came into this game averaging 11. She finished with 21 to lead all scorers. Sophia Myers also finished in double figures. Myers came into today averaging 6. She more than doubled her average with 13. A half a dozen for Olivia Mangus, 3 for Caitlin Steckschulte, a deuce for Alexis Arredondo. Off the bench, Zoe McCormick with a half a dozen, and Allie Cox with 2 to make it 8 bench points on the day for head coach Brian Rosendale and company. On the flip side for the Bulldogs, boy, what a tremendous first half. Really what a tremendous first quarter for Alexa Garcia. She didn't just carry this team. She said, "Catch up with me." The 5'7" senior drained 4 Premier Bank three-pointers in the first half. She had a dozen at the intermission. She was held scoreless in the second half. She finishes with 12 to lead all Bulldog players. After that, nobody else really close. 6 points off the bench for sophomore guard Jamie Rollins. 5 points for starting center Alexandra Fernandez. And then after that, 3 points for Kendall and Krekel. A deuce for starting point guard Samantha Hohenberger, but we saw her take the tape off of her ankles late in the third quarter. We saw her without her shoes and her right ankle heavily iced throughout the fourth quarter, so we're hoping that she is okay. She finishes again with 2. 2 off the bench for backup center Olivia Brenner, and 1 of 3 from the free throw line for Lizzie Ramirez. That rounds out your scoring. It was a cleanly played first half. 5 turnovers for Defiance in the first 2 quarters to just 4 for Findlay. But things got a little bit sloppy, and the defensive intensity did pick up. But Defiance finishes with 19 miscues on the day. They did force 13 turnovers for Findlay. But again, Findlay took advantage of those, and it shows in the final score, 56-31. We'll take a quick timeout. The Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show rolls on. We'll wrap up with our Steichman Automotive Group player of the game when we come back. Don't go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports. E2. All right, there we are. You can see it's actually light outside. We are not used to this. Normally, games being played at night here at the Dog Pound. As we are wrapping up the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show, Brent Palpinot saying thank you for joining us. We've given you the stat sheets courtesy of Mark Moats Ford, but if they come up and join us, we're going to put them on the air. She hasn't even changed yet, so getting after things, but Alexa Garcia joining us right now. 12 points on the day. Matter of fact, you came out, I don't know what you had for breakfast, but my guess is Coach would like you to continue to eat that on a regular basis. But you drained 4 3-pointers in the first half, 3 of them in the first quarter. You looked like you found your stroke early. Can you just tell when it's on and feed me the basketball, or did you kind of work your way into it?
During every practice and during pregame, every game, I start out from the paint and work my way out, and I'm mainly just shooting threes. And today it just happened to click.
Just happened to click. Do any other media guys, radio, newspaper, board for you while you're warming up? I just want to ask you that question.
No.
Who does?
You.
Thank you very much. See, I just wanted her to admit that for me. Look, in all seriousness, though, you said it was much tougher in the second half. When you drain 4 3-pointers and you've got a dozen points, probably odds are pretty good that the coach is going to assign somebody to face guard you. How much more difficult was it to get open in that second half?
It was pretty hard. 14 did a pretty good job on face guarding me and not letting me get touches.
So what was the game plan then after that? Were you trying to take away defenders, open up somebody else, maybe try and drive and get to the line? What was the game plan then?
I think it was just to get Alex in the paint, the ball, so she can score.
You've got some good posts. And obviously, they crashed the glass quite a bit. If it's not hitting for you, that means somebody else is going to be open, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want to say how tough that is, but the challenge to be patient, to be humble, because when you go off like you did in the first half, you want to keep it going. But you don't have an ego, it doesn't strike me. If somebody else is going to score and you can continue to basically help in other ways, you're happy with that, yes?
Yeah.
See, woman, a few words, absolutely few words. You had a big win last night,
yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
And now you got a little bit of downtime. What's the game plan? How much better can you guys still get in the next week or two?
We can get pretty good. After the win Thursday, Coach told us to keep winning, so we're going to try to come out here and
I'll say the same thing. I don't even need to get my coaching certificate to say that. You just keep winning. Look, at this point, and I don't want to say, but being a senior, you're concentrating on just the next game, right? It's easy to say, you know what, everything gets so sentimental your senior year, and you start thinking about, okay, this will be the last time I play in this gym. This will be the last time I play against this team. You're staying focused, it sounds like. Is that a good way to put it?
Yeah.
What's your prep like, both during the week for practice, and then obviously you're out early to warm up and shoot around. You were even shooting in street clothes one time last week when I was giving you a hand. What's your routine pregame?
I just get here and shoot, I guess. I don't know.
No need to complicate it, right? All right, so where are you going to go? How can you get better? What are you going to be working on between now and next week?
I'm going to work on how to get open when I'm getting face guarded.
Aha. See, that's what happens. When you show them you can shoot, all of a sudden they're going to put their opposition's best defender on you. So here's the challenge. Go ahead and light it up against whoever the best defender is next week. How's that sound?
Okay, sounds good.
All right, congratulations to you.
Thanks
for coming up and joining us. Hand that right off to Coach, and we'll get going. A little sweaty. That means she worked.
Right,
though, right?
Right.
I'll ask you the same question because, look, I had a coach once, and he was a good old country boy, but he used a joke. He said, you don't bring a Shetland pony to the Kentucky Derby.
That's true.
When your ace is hot,
yeah,
you go ahead and feed him, and you seem to do a good job of that in the first half with Alexis.
Yeah, I heard you ask her, like, what was our plan? Our plan was still get it to her. It's just with the face guard, it's a little bit difficult. And she's just getting used to, like I told, playing with the ball in her hands all the time. So I told her, like, be patient. You're all right. It's going to happen. We're going to make mistakes. But as long as you learn and we finish better than we started, I think we'll be in good shape. And now she shot it early. And I would have face guarded her, too, the way she shot it, right? She was knocking them in. And, I mean, I told her from the beginning when I first met her, I'm like, listen, you got the ability to do that every night. You just got to be aggressive and confident in what you're doing.
We've talked about this probably a million times. I'll make it 1,000,001 officially on the mic here. you will never yell at one of your players for making an aggressive
No,
mistake. You'd
no.
rather have them be aggressive and you kind of have them to slow down than have to drag them kicking and screaming because they're passive or they're scared.
Yeah, well, we got to learn how to play the game, and I feel like you can't baby them. You got to let them play. You got to let them make mistakes, and I feel like sometimes for some players, I mean, every player is different, but for some players, they got to do it, and they got to mess up, and then they got to, okay, yeah, coach, I get what you're talking about right there, and then we move on, and we move on to the next play. I'm a next play guy. I don't feel like it does anything in basketball to dwell on what happened before.
You know, I'm sitting here looking at the book, and man, Alexandra Fernandez worked so hard today. There was one series down here at the end where she came up and set a screen.
Yeah.
I think it might have been Rollins that got a good look but left it short. Guess who's crashing?
Came up with the
Guess
rebound,
who's getting the rebound and then drawing the foul and going to the free throw
Yeah.
line? I mean, I don't want to call her an anonymous voice in the chorus, but man, she works so hard.
Yeah, I mean, I knew from when I got the job that Alex would be a big part of what we're doing. I started her on JV, I want to say the first 5 games, because I told her, I need you to have the ultimate confidence in yourself. I got confidence in you, but if you don't have it in yourself, we're not going to be the team we're supposed to be. And I believe all our wins came after she was inserted in the starting lineup. And I believe a couple games before the Swanton game, she started starting. And then things start clicking. We start scoring at least 15 more points a game than we were before, just because she's that offensive threat that you can get it to her on the block.
Speaking of blue collar, hard hat, lunch pail, Lizzie Ramirez got some extra minutes tonight, too. My question first, let's start with this, is did you get up in time to meet her to lift at 5:30 on Thursday morning?
I don't disappoint, Brent. I was up. I was up at the gym. We got there about 5:10, and we worked out for about an hour, and then she went to school, and I went my way. But it was good. Just wanted to show the girls, like, dedication is, I mean, it's whatever we need to do. Whatever we need to do to improve, I'm here for it.
When I think of the old phrase, and again, sometimes when you're talking to high school kids, especially those that maybe haven't played the game, and you got some youngsters that are just now getting their taste of it. Not everybody's a veteran, like 24 over here. Be a star in your role.
Yes.
You don't have to do everything when you step out on the court. If I tell you this is your job and you go out and do it well, then you've done everything I've asked for you. Liz Ramirez strikes me as the kid that knows how to be a star in her role.
She is. So, I mean, I just appreciate the way she worked. I mean, I don't know if you were here in the JV game. She split her eye open.
I noticed she had the shiner. I was like,
what? Had to go
what?
get stitches, ran to the hospital, got stitched up, came back, and she like, Coach, I just want to be there for the varsity players. We're going to need subs. I want to be there. And it's just, I mean, it's the kind of teammates you want. I'll give her as much praise as I can in practice just to let her know we appreciate it. I mean, she like I told Lex, having her around was a big deal, just for the simple fact when we first started, she wasn't at practice. It probably 2 weeks in before she started playing, and once she came, you can tell the positivity, the attitude, the drive, the cheers on the sideline for the starters when they're in. I just want them to see and appreciate how much she kind of did for this team, pushing them, just being a good cheerleader on the bench and playing as hard as well when she's in the game.
All right, so here's the same question I have for you for Alexa. You're winding down the regular season here.
Right.
But another day to practice is still another day to improve.
Yes, sir.
What are you going to be working on?
We'll get ready with the scout on Monday for Paulding. Another out-of-conference game that I feel like we can come away with. We just got to do our thing. We're more worried about what we're doing at this point than what other teams are doing. We'll obviously go through the film, go through the scout, do the whole 9 with that. But we're really focused on us right now. I feel like we're in a good place. We just got to continue to shoot the ball well, and we got to play defense the way we've been playing. I feel like the 1-3-1 is hard for people to figure out. I mean, we've been doing a good job in it. I feel like it took us 17 games to figure out what I wanted out of the 1-3-1. But now the way they playing, I can live with it, man. If it takes 17 games to get these results, I'll take it.
All right. And you get open when you're face guarded. That's a sign of respect. She said she's going to do so.
Oh, yeah.
Appreciate you coming up and joining us.
Appreciate
Good luck to you guys next week.
All right. Thanks, Brent.
We're going to take one last time out. When we come back, we'll put a wrap on it. It is the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show, and you're watching DCTV Sports. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. We're putting a nice, neat blue and white bow on it. Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us as it's time now for our Steichman Automotive Group Player of the Game. And again, a situation here where one player just jumps out at you, and it is Madeline Steckschulte for Findlay, scoring 21 points. She averages 11 per game. She had 10 more than her average, and she was just steady Eddie all afternoon long. So congratulations going out to Madeline Steckschulte for Findlay as their 56-31 victory here this afternoon ups their overall record to 15-5. The Bulldogs fall to 2-18. Don't you go anywhere. We are coming back in about 3 hours. 5:30 marks the start for our doubleheader second half Estill Chevrolet pregame show as the Defiance boys will be welcoming number 4 in Division I, Whitmer. Whitmer, the Panthers, suffering just their second loss of the season last night. So, they'll probably be coming in with a little bit of an edge. The Bulldogs will try to make it 2 losses in a row. That's going to do it for our coverage here this afternoon. Big thank you going out to our crew, also our sponsors for helping make the broadcast a possibility, and you, the fan, for tuning in. I'm Brent Balbinot saying thank you for joining us. You've been watching DCTV Sports.